that's where I feel like we are in a society now where the enemy's job has been to sow discord. Because where there's fraction and fissures, there can be no unity. The Adjust Your Lenses podcast is back, and this time it's a collab between my brother Donovan and I. Manna and Adjust Your Lenses presents Daily Bread. See, we've been on a journey, and what we want is for you to come on the journey with us. Get ready, fasten your seatbelts, come break bread with us.
This Sunday talking about Caleb.
Mm-hmm.
So Caleb was one of the 12 spies. It was Caleb and Joshua.
That's right.
The 12 that.
That's right.
Two of them that went.
That's right.
To spy out the land and come back with a report.
Yeah.
Caleb and Joshua come back and say, "Oh, we got this.
We got this."
Other 10 like, nah, this you can't do it. So those Joshua and Caleb fell in, and they spent 40 plus years in the wilderness because that was fearful, right?
That's right.
But 40 years later, Caleb was an old man, and now it's time to run. And mind you, Joshua and Caleb were the only two that are alive that actually survived the entire
That's
land.
right.
He's like, okay, the land is still there.
That's
Caleb,
right.
Can you do it? Oh, I'm 85 now, but I'm as young as ever.
Yes.
But he went, but the same, but like, he waited, he conquered that land and of course that land eventually became Hebron, which is that's Judah and all that kind of stuff like that. But he could have got that land 40 years ago. But he chose to fall in line, to be unified with his people, and spend 40 years in the wilderness with them. He still got the promise, but he waited 40 years for it.
That's right.
Right? But he chose unity over the
promise,
over whatever you think it is that... Because again, everybody's... You said with Christ, everybody's reason to separate is different.
Yeah.
So everybody's going to be unique. You may think, oh, I can find a better spouse. I can find... Or my purpose is over here. Whatever. I remember one time I heard like Will Smith say about when he met Jada, he was already married.
That's right.
Oh, but she but you married, bro. You chose your wife.
Yeah.
But you trying... So again, like, whatever your reason is for leaving, it's not good enough.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's not good enough. So I think in that situation, like I said, like, Caleb and Joshua were ready to go, but still fell in line.
Yeah.
You know
and I would say this, like, to be clear, anyone like who leaves their spouse and is now married, because God is faithful, again, in his love trumps everything, right? Like, there is where your blessings are now, right? Like, that place is now where... So don't get hung up on the past or whatever case may be. It's like, okay, you're here now. This is where your blessings are, right? Because, again, like, that's the point. Like, God does not operate in our, like, our little sphere. Like, God's mind is exponentially more evolved than ours, right? And so I like, but I think that's a good example because I think we have to, because part of what I think that does, actually I think Will Smith is a great example. I remember learning about his oldest son, Trey, and reading about him and how there was a lot of work that had to be done to make that relationship what it is now, right? Where they have a great, thriving relationship, but that wasn't always the case. And so those are some of the consequences, right? But if we're willing to do the work, he restores. Like, that's the thing. Like, but we have to be willing to do the work so that restoration and redemption takes place. It's not all just God that, bestows. He'll bless, but you got to uphold your end of the bargain. And so, yeah, man, I just think that, like, unity, and I encourage everybody, man, like, unity in the household, especially unity in the household, is super duper important because, like, what God is trying to do is always going to flow from homes out. It's like, I can't think of any example right now where it was the other way around. Right now. There might be, but I can't think of it. Why am I saying this? Because The home is what God established.
Yeah.
He told Abraham, you will be a father of many nations. He told Jacob, you are a nation and a community of nations. So the home, everything. So, and even the church, yes, the church is made up of homes, communities, people. So you are a home, you are a temple.
Yep.
And so but I'm not married. Yeah, that's not the point, right? You are a nation. So not everybody's called to marriage. That's true. You're still a nation. You came from somebody. So no matter what, it's coming. There's a tree. There's a line. God filters everything he does through homes, through into the world.
That's good.
So yes, you're not called to marriage, but you came from somebody, and they came from somebody, and they came from somebody, and so there was a home somewhere. There was a home somewhere.
That's good.
And that's where I think we have to go. We have to really understand unity is the utmost important thing to God. So all my prayer warriors, all my dreamers, all my vision seers, all my, I study the word 30 hours a day. Yes, there's only 24. Somehow though you do 30. I don't know how you're doing 30, but I study about 30 hours a day. All of those things. It's like, yes, great. Do all of those things and make sure that you're united. Like, make sure you are united, because all of those things are great by themselves and will help you and will empower you and will embolden you and will do all those things, but will not move anything if you're not united. You know what I'm saying? And that's where I feel like we are in a society now where the enemy's job has been to sow discord.
Yep.
Because where there's fraction and fissures, there can be no unity. And without unity in the body of the church, unity in homes, unity in relationships and families, without unity, it's easy to divide and split people, and then nothing moves. So God is still pouring out his revelation. He's still doing all this stuff, but it's not moving.
It's good, bro. And some things that in reality is that whatever vision God may be giving anybody that's watching, even for us here, at some point it's gonna be bigger than you can carry. You know what I mean? Like,
always,
you're gonna have to have unity to carry this thing forward, right?
That's
so
right.
Like, there's no way. Like, how can you do what is of God, whatever he designed for you to do, without being in a relationship with, like, He's not gonna give anybody, like, it has to be a relationship.
That's right.
Has to be.
You
know what I mean? So I think, like you said, like, it's the key, because, like, wherever God's gonna carry you, you're gonna have to get into a relationship.
That's right.
It's not gonna work.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
It's
you
might
might get
possible.
some stuff done, but at some point you're gonna hit where no, you have to connect, because this thing that he has for you is bigger than just you.
That's right. And yo, this is so good. So good. Abraham was wrong for bringing Lot. There's evidence in the Bible of that. We saw what he had to do. He had to save Lot twice. Right? So that's energy expended unnecessarily. Right? But God allowed it. Because they were united. That's the power of unity. You see what I'm saying? So God's like, I'm God, but you're united. So I can't overrule it, because if I overrule it, I am united. That's everything is based on that. So he's like, Adam and Eve united in eating the apple. God, at any point, God could have been like, no, you're bugging. Don't eat that. Smack the apple out of her hand. No, eat it. Is it Michael? This is the warrior angel. He could have said Michael like smack that apple out of her hand. But they were united.
It's real though.
So he let it happen. See what I'm saying? That's the power of unity. Like, and people need to get that. Like, the unity is so powerful that God is like, yo, I can step in at any time. And this is why it says, can two walk together unless they agree? That's why it says where two or three are in my name. There I am. Because in the minute you're united on one accord, listen, like it's over. Like there's nothing that can stop you, right? And so we have to understand this. Like it's a choice that God made before the universe was even created. That unity is the thing that he's going to go off of. Because in unity, love can exist. In unity, restoration can exist. Redemption can exist. Mercy can happen. In unity, grace can be afforded. In unity, and he gives us to us individually too. But what we don't realize is that even when we're getting it individually, we're united with him.
Exactly.
That's the key. Exactly. So, you know what I'm saying?
That's where it starts.
That's where it starts.
And your road that you're on is going to eventually, you know what I'm saying? Intersect with someone else's road, right?
Somebody else. Somebody always, because again, like to your point, when you're aligned with God,
exactly.
At some point, he's like, hey, this is not just a you thing.
Exactly.
This is bigger than you.
Exactly. You're not the last prophet.
Yeah, exactly. You're not the last prophet. Thank you. All right. And so, yeah, man, I think this is like a thing for a lot of believers and for the non-believers out there, just so there's proof of this, even in scripture, of what unity does. And the way the Lord showed this to me was in the story of Abraham, how Abraham and Sarah had a conversation. They got a promise. It was taking too long. So Sarah says to Abraham, why don't you sleep with my servant girl, who's Egyptian, by the way. And this was before the Arab invasion. For those, just look that up so you understand what I mean. So like Egypt, all of North Africa did not always look like what it looks like now. It looks like second Arab nation. Exactly. That was not always the case. The Arab invasion is what caused the color change to be like that. So when we're talking about Egyptians in the scripture, they look different. They look different. And so Abraham sleeps with his servant girl because, again, they were in agreement. Right. So God could have told Abraham, what are you doing? Stop. But he came into agreement with his wife. Here comes Ishmael. And God has to honor it. Why? Because he already gave Abraham a promise that all his descendants would be great. All his seed would be great. Yep. So God has to make Ishmael great. You see what I'm saying? So like this is how powerful that is. Like agreement, and I'll give you a promise. All your seeds are going to be blessed. They're going to be great. So Ishmael has to be great. Again, Abraham decides to marry Keturah. Here comes Midian. I've given you a promise. All your seeds will be great. Midian is great. So there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Like, if you are united, and this is where the enemy tries to also get us in unity, united on the wrong thing, because Ishmael also ends up becoming, his descendants become thorns in the flesh of Isaac's descendants. Midian are the people that's where Moses goes to. He's in Midian for 40 years. God has to call him back. Those were Abraham's descendants. And it's the Midianites that Gideon is fighting.
And the ones that's so Joseph. Ishmael carried him away. Yep.
So it comes back. So this is where we have to be careful. So we're not encouraging being united on the wrong thing.
Exactly.
That's not the point. But what we are emphasizing is that the power of agreement, the power of unity, the principle works, good or bad.
Right.
And that's where we have to understand, like, so for us right now as a society, as a nation, as people, as men, as brothers, as black people and white people and whatever it is, it's like, if we could get, like, and especially as Christians, if we could understand all we need to do is be united. God is not asking you to memorize 5,000 scriptures. If you do, that's wonderful. That's great. It is. But let me tell you, if you know one scripture and you're united, nothing can stop you. That's the point. It's about unity.
Good, bro.
Because that's where the power comes from, right? So, like, I hope that none of this is misunderstood. Like, cause I know, like, something, you know what I mean? Like,
because put the questions in the chat though, so we have the comment, like, put the comments in there. And let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Have a conversation.
Yeah. Unity is powerful, man. It's powerful. And this is gonna be a reoccurring theme, I feel like, because I think right now, I take nothing away from, like, my parents' generation, but I think that they got hung up. I believe. Let me stop saying think. I believe they got hung up on rituals and church. Yeah. Church meaning, you know, are you Anglican? Are you Presbyterian? Are you Lutheran? Are you Martin Luther? Or are you Protestant? Are you, whatever, right? Baptist and this and that and all these things. Yeah. Excuse me. And I think because of that, again, unity versus division. Right? So more sects, sects, more sects versus are we together as a body? And I think now you see people call it New Age Church. I'm not here to tell you the New Age Church is the best. What I am telling you is that what I've noticed is that a lot of New Age churches choose to be non-denominational. Yeah. Why is that? Because the denominations have become separatist division when God is like, okay, I'm going to pour out my spirit onto you, but you're too busy being Presbyterian. And we don't mess with the Lutherans, and we don't mess with the Anglicans, and we don't mess with the Baptists. We do it this way. Y'all do it this way. And it's like, we worship this way. And it's like, no. Like, those who worship God will worship him in spirit and in truth. There will be a time that's going to come where we will neither do it on the mountain or, like, that's the point. That's what he told the lady in John 4. A time is coming where it's not going to be about, we're Abraham's seed and and like, no. Are you together? Exactly. Are you united? Good. So I think we're in a point now where God is really trying to get us to understand he wants the body united so things can move. And so I really hope that just makes sense to people. And it's not flawless. It's just... It's just God's, will right now. So, yeah, man.
It's good. Yo, see y'all next week on this one. Peace.